That's the frustrating part, right? Okay, and this is where a lot of money is wasted. So a typical example, about a month and a half ago, when the federal government and the provincial government got together and pronounced pretty like aggressively, we want to make it easy for people to buy a house. We're going to pay for the development charges, okay? But why, how come the development charges are so high? We don't take a look, right?
3,000% in the last decade.
So the governments, what did they do in there, right? Because they make a big thing to get elected, and then they got to borrow money or print monies, right, to pay for
which is even worse.
To pay for the development charges, right? So it's left and right. It's we gotta reduce the bureaucracy. We gotta see maybe one term would be enough for politicians to be in parliament, and then they should go out and work with the rules and regulations they developed in parliament and see how difficult it is or how little common sense those rules make.
I agree with you 100%. But the problem is that you've spoken to a lot more politicians than I have probably ever in my lifetime, nor do I want to, because I don't have the thick skin for it. I don't like speaking to people who don't know what's going on. I don't like speaking to people who've never worn a hard hat where there's not been a camera near them to photograph them in a situation. I want to speak to people who actually have gotten their hands dirty and who understand the workforce, who understand the problem solving, who understand all those techniques. And my biggest problem that is, I think, directly connected to our debt and our increasing in debt in this country is that 1/4 of our nation, 1/4 of our population, their paycheck is directly connected to the government.
I think it's 1.25, right? Okay, but that's a huge thing. So the message—
That's a big number.
You see, the message I want to get across is, it's when you want to change things, the system isn't right?
Yeah.
And you can, in a democracy, you can only change it via democratic means. So basically, I want to tell small business, you're the backbone. You have kids.
You want to remind them.
I want to remind them. I want to wake them up and say, look, you got kids. There's a little future if we leave it the way things are, right? So so basically, I'm glad when you called me that you're in the construction thing. So there's hundreds or thousands of smaller construction companies which build homes, which factories, etc.
There's 1.6 million people in this country alone that work with construction.
So we got to wake them up and say, look, you're really the builders. You're the backbone of the country. You should not be paying a business tax, right? Because usually when you want to bring a change, people will ask them, how does that affect me? What's in for me, right? So basically I'm saying, you're running a small business, there should be no business tax because you want to grow, be of a larger business. And to grow, that means you got to hire employees, right? And the employees will pay the income tax, right?